Hey, everybody. Welcome to Messages from Spirit. Every week I put out a message, whatever Spirit tells me to do, whatever Spirit tells me to say. It's always for the good of mankind and for entertainment. So there might be, oracle cards that I use, tarot cards, numerology, just purely, some of it could be symbolic, some of it could be, there's so many different things. So, and sometimes, like today, I get a download as to what I'm supposed to be talking about. In today's, well, there's actually 2 or 3 messages today. Okay, so they want you guys to understand. When I say they, I mean like a compilation of, it's a combination of your higher selves as a collective along with my higher self. So it's all of them coming together with a consensus as to what you guys need to hear. So they're saying that there is an old earth and a new earth paradigm. If we want to move into the new earth, then we can't be in love with the old earth. It's kind of like what many of you have been going through in terms of breaking up with the person who's wrong for you, the toxic person, and going toward the person who really resonates for you at a core level and the more authentic partner for you. The same thing is happening with the earth right now. So basically, or with each of us in regards to the earth, you could say, but it is happening to the earth as well. But a lot of us have been living in the Truman Show. Almost everything about the way that we believe, the way that we see things, the products that we use, just our normal everyday lives are complete lies. Many of you don't even realize or know that yet. Some of you have kind of dipped your toe in the water a little bit to see some of these truths, and you're opening up, hopefully more all the time, to some of the deeper truths. But it's basically, when I talk to God about it, what he's basically saying is that you have to have a vision for the new earth. When you're talking about like manifestation and the law of attraction, you are always, by the vibration you're putting out, you're attracting your future by what you're thinking about, okay? So some of these, the evil forces behind what has created all of the chaos, the division. So, some of the things, just to mention real quickly, would be like racism. Racism doesn't really exist, not for our natural selves, okay? Like it just, we all accept each other. We all accept each other's religions, all the different religions. We don't fight each other about it or anything. The natural us, the true us, it's completely open to everyone's opinion and has an open heart and an open mind, and we love each other equally. And there's no segregation. There's no difference. We're like little kids. We totally accept each other's differences and don't even think about it. We just accept each other. Without all the programming that we've gone through, we wouldn't have all the fighting. And honestly, a lot of the events that have happened in our lives have been completely staged, as in using actors and actresses or fake NEWS to kind of feed us a line of baloney so people can make money off of us and things like that. Even using bank systems, and it goes very, very deep, and it's very, very, our society is very much infiltrated with these different, or permeated with these different ideas and philosophies that were designed to separate us all and get us fighting about all these different issues. And they've been successful, and so now is everything is coming to a head. And one of the biggest things that have been going on that a lot of people don't realize is when we talk about sex, traffic, a lot of people think that has something to do with like prostitution or like people being raped or like, they just don't have a clue as to what that's all about. I is as ugly as you think it might be, or as dark or as scary as you think it might be to delve into the subject. I can just give you a quick summary to sum it up for you a little bit, but maybe I'm hoping that by summarizing, by telling you the end of the story beforehand, that you'll feel safe going into the movie, because you really need to know what's going on. Because what's basically happened is there have been Satanists and Luciferians from the beginning of time, for as long, you guys wouldn't even believe how far back it goes, but they had this plan all along. And these are part of the Nazis and the sociopaths and all those kinds of people who really don't have any compassion for human beings at all. They actually were the ones that established all the churches, believe it or not. They established all the churches and all this stuff. And they've also established a system, and it involved some underground tunnels and a whole intricate system worth millions and millions, billions and billions, really, of a whole system of kidnapping people's children and taking them in these tunnels and torturing them, basically. Torturing and tormenting them and putting them through pain, because the level of evil that these people are dealing with, you guys, most of you have had the pleasure of not having to deal with or even know about, but it's beyond our comprehension what's been going on and what they do to children, and the reason that they do this to these children. And they even steal adult women, single women, to have these children so that they can, create more children, they can reproduce and things like that. But it's a very involved thing that's been going on for a very, very long time under our noses. And there are millions and millions and millions of children going missing every single year, being brought down into the tunnels. Some of them have been living in these tunnels for so many years that they've never even seen the light of day, if you can imagine. And and they do this for a substance that gets pumped. When we're afraid, there's a certain chemical that runs through our bodies, and it goes into our blood system. And the more afraid we are and the more pure we are, the better it is, and the younger we are. Well, and the darker our skin, really. Black people are really the most valued. That's why we've always been told that blacks are beneath us, that blacks were slaves, that blacks were the lesser. And it's actually the opposite. They are the more valuable. So they made you guys want to disregard them, you white people like myself. And I, just white people in general have been taught that they were lower or lesser, to feed into their plan to steal the black children. And I know this sounds really preposterous, guys, but you would not believe how much evidence there is of this all over the place. If you guys just look for it. Go to bitshoot.com and look into things, because it's an overwhelming amount of evidence at this point, you guys. It's ridiculous to think that it's not going on. So, but now those tunnels are being completely destroyed. They're being nuked, actually. They're being completely dismantled, destroyed, and the whole system's going down. And this is like a system also where people are born and raised in a way to be abusive to kind people, to mess with their heads, to like that movie Mean Girls. And actually, the movies and TV shows have been produced with the objective of programming us also. So they're told to write this into the script, to hate this person who's a leader, to think this person of this group of people. And it's all just to divide us and get us going against each other. So all of it is this intricate system, but it's all these, children who are even raised to feel like it's normal to stab people and kill people. And they're amongst us everywhere, and you don't even know. Maybe your psychopath ex-husband or something like that was even trained in the system, because they would never tell you. They would never let you know they're involved with it. And maybe they were doing that because somebody knew eventually you'd be this great leader with a pure heart that could make a difference in this world. And so they tried to traumatize you throughout your life and try to get you down, and you didn't stay down, did you? So you grew stronger. You grew stronger. And they don't understand that because they don't understand the power of love. So, but we've really been shielded by this stuff. And God is saying, you know, look at this world you guys have created and you've allowed, you know, all these millions of children going missing and nobody doing a thing about it and just saying, oh these, you know, it's like a mother and or father go to the park with their child and their child disappears. Well, what's the first assumption? Well, some lonely person probably took the child because they never got to have a child, you know, because it's portrayed that way in TV shows and stuff, you know. So we just go, oh, okay, well, that's what it is, or whatnot. So this kind of leads into the other thing that they wanted me to talk about was healing the energy of the Divine Mother, because when this starts becoming common knowledge, which it is vastly, very quickly becoming common knowledge as people are here, you know, knowing about these earthquakes and things that are going on, then I wonder what's happening. There's earthquakes happening all over the world, and it's not, you know, God being upset about all this necessarily. It's like it's all being destroyed. So and I can give you guys some resources. If any of you want like proof and evidence and you're like, Amy, you don't know what you're talking about, like that stuff's not really going on. That doesn't really happen. And what are you talking about? Our churches are based on Luciferianism and all that stuff. The symbology is everywhere, you guys. I would do my best to provide proof for you guys, or just go to BitChute and look it up. It's all there. It's all there. It's a great resource. Just put in certain keywords or look for like symbolism of Luciferianism, or, you know, go to Probably Alexandra. Probably Alexandra is a really great channel on YouTube, and she does a really great job. She's a biblical scholar, and she goes way back and tells you how she came to realize, you know, the secret societies and things like that are behind all of this and have been for a really long time. She'll explain it to you, and she does it really matter of fact. You know, no one's trying to fearmonger here. No one's trying to get people frightened or any of that. It's just that God wants everyone to realize what's been going on, and we've been irresponsible. Essentially, we've been parents that have let our children run amok, and our children being this world basically just run amok, and we've turned a blind eye to some of these really horrific things that have been going on right under our noses. And God is like going to give us a choice here coming up. You know, we're talking about the second beast possibly coming in, and I think that there's been an overlap. Satan is now getting dissolved, or Satan is not going to be dissolved, but Satan's getting defeated. And now is the time for Lucifer. So Lucifer is going to pretend to be of the light and isn't. So I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like going forward, but I have some ideas. But basically, it's going to really just be playing everybody against each other, like they already have been. Okay, so where do you want me to go with this? Okay, so basically what's going to happen though is these mothers are going to be finding this out. The mothers, oh yeah, so our irresponsibility as earth stewards, our irresponsibility of not wanting to hear when people have been trying to tell us some things here and there. Now, luckily I had an open enough mind to say, I'm not sure that that's totally for real, but it sounds interesting. You know, I kept an open mind, and I would consider what people would say. I wouldn't roll my eyes at them automatically or shun them or any of that stuff, because luckily I haven't been watching TV for a while, so I've not been one of those programmed people. But so I've listened to them, and I haven't known whether or not it's really all, you know, and I was in my own little comfort bubble and didn't really care to look into it until now because of how strange things are becoming in our world. So it woke me up. It really woke me up. And then I was like, okay, considering all that I've heard through the years and everything I've kind of turned away from or kind of ignored, I want to be responsible now, and I want to look into what's going on and what's been happening. You know, an analogy would be somebody keeps telling you that your child is playing with some kid down the street who's playing with knives or something. And you're like, that's not possible. No parent would let our kids play with knives. Like, so you shrugged it off. Like, that's ridiculous. That's really stupid. And all the other neighbors are talking about, oh, everything that goes on in that house over there, it's all fancy and great and blah, blah, blah. And it's like super nice, and they get to float on clouds, and they get to, you know, so you're hearing the story from other people who are maybe purposely trying to fool you so that you don't go over to the house and investigate. Or maybe, or whatever, or they try to discredit the person who came to you and told you, look, they're playing with knives over there. They're like, oh, that person, that neighbor, she's kind of going to screw loose. She's kind of crazy anyway, right? So this has all been going on in our government. It's been going on our TV. It's been going on TV shows, movies, everything for so long that you guys are so used to that you will poo-poo any of these ideas that I've been talking about, right? So now it's time to get responsible. Now it's time to learn about some of these things so that we can make a choice, because God's going to ask us, do you want the old earth that you have pretty much destroyed now? I mean, it's pretty much, it's all coming out. And not only is it destroying, like we got to the point where there were, chemtrails going on, there was poison in our water, poison in our food. Some of our meat has human meat in it. Like, I mean, it's gotten completely freaking out of control, guys. You will not even believe all of it when you start really looking into it. I mean, it's mortifying. And still, so many of you don't even know what's going on, but you have to know, because you need to be willing. It's like you need to be willing to look at your toxic partner's behavior. You're with a total narcissist psychopath, and darn well in a moment they could turn around and try to hurt you really bad, right? So it's time to look the psychopath in the face and see it for what it is and be like, you are a liar. You are a liar, and you're pretending to care about me. You're pretending to love me, but there are certain things you're getting out of me. You're getting money, you're getting this, you're getting that, you're getting that. Those are the things you're after, not me. I'm the one that's just kind of the means to an end, right? So when you realize all of this and you get in your power and you get in your strength and you're like, I'm not going to listen to all the stories anymore. I'm not going to listen to any of this. I am going to put my attention this way on a different life, on having a new, more healthy life and a new, more healthy relationship and whatnot, right? So you're at that point now where you have to break up with the old earth as it is. You need to see it for what it is, open your eyes, take a good look at it and be like, you know what? Admit to yourself, I got myself in a situation that's very unhealthy with a really horrible person who pretends to be a nice person sometimes, just enough to keep me hooked, and then blah, blah, blah. And you see it for what it is, your eyes get open to it, and then you walk out the door. And then you have hope for a new life. But honestly, the life that we've created has been slavery, and we didn't even know. We've been birthing these babies so that these horrible people can take the babies away and use them for their own entertainment and purpose. And they want to look younger. They use the substance in their blood to actually look younger, feel really good. It's like it's a high, and which they need all the time after that. And so it's hard to keep track of where I'm going with all of this, but basically you got to break up with it. You got to realize that the old earth is not what you want anymore, because God's going to give you that choice. Do you really want to be in this illusory world where you're pretending to, you don't really own your homes. You guys know that too, right? And you guys are actually considered, I think, like water vessels. Your birth certificates they enslave you from the moment that you're born. Making you sign a birth certificate and everything is one way of keeping you in the system. And there's ways to break free of some of this stuff, but we shouldn't even be paying income tax. Guess where the money goes? That income tax that you've been paying for so many years, it's been going to all these evil works. We should be having free energy. We should even have free homes. There should be so much going on right now that should be happening in an ideal world that isn't. But we think that we're free, and we think we're realizing now we're not. And we're seeing all the tyranny and people backing down to it and giving into it. And we're, I don't want to rock the boat, but guess who made you like that? And guess who also made you not listen to your intuition? Guess who actually calcified your pineal gland so that you could not even listen to your intuition anymore? Their ultimate goal would be to basically take you to rob you of any self-esteem. And you cannot be self-empowered. You cannot be self-empowered, or you will rise up against them. They by the way, they will try to trick you and make up some kind of, with actors and actresses, they'll make up some kind of a drama probably coming up soon where they will try to act like guns are dangerous and people do dangerous things with them. And so they must all be taken away. Don't fall for that. Do not fall for that, because your weapons are actually your strength. And so is consciousness. So whichever you have, that's your biggest weapon. Do not give that up, because then they will ultimately just take over. So, and I don't believe that's going to happen, but I don't want you guys to fool yourselves. I mean, they're really, it's about waking up right now, guys. It's about waking up. It's not about like being in a denial bubble and acting like everything's going to work out just fine by itself. Because like I said, you've got to choose whether you want the new earth, which truly is free, where we truly are sovereign human beings, where we're not taken over by artificial intelligence and robots and mind controlled and all that kind of nonsense that they've been planning to do to us for a long time. But by putting certain things in those things that they want to inject into us, those things can control you. They can even cause you to die a year later. If you come across certain germs, it'll just make you die. It's like, really? So, I mean, you guys need to look into some of these things. Like, there's actual scientists that talk about all these experiments that have been going on to test what would happen if you put this substance in and that substance in. So do not be fooled by these people acting like they're out for your good or your safety or any of that nonsense, because that's what they said back in the day of the Holocaust, back when that was just a big experiment. So now is the real time. Now is the real thing. Okay, so this is a modern day Holocaust, basically, is what's going on. But also realize the power of your consciousness and your presence and your ability to, one person who is awakened, and I mean, when I say awakened, yeah, there's awakened in the sense that you know about the stuff going on in this old world you don't want anymore, which closing that chapter of your life now opens up the possibility for you going to a new world. You cannot be going into this new earth or new world if you haven't let that go. That's just the way life is. Something has to die for this to come alive. You know what I mean? So, gosh, what was I saying? I'm like all over the place, obviously, right now. But basically, yeah. So the awakening I'm talking about is there's the thank you. There's the initial awakening or one awakening is awakening to the evil stuff that's been going on. The second awakening, though, is to realize just how empowered you are and who you truly are. And that is with God's source energy coursing through your veins. You have all the power. One person who's awakened, or enlightened actually has the power to manifest probably about 1,000, I would say like 1,000 people. 1,000 people's ability to manifest in one person. That's why they don't want you guys waking up. That's why they don't want you using your intuition. That's why they make people out to be crazy who do listen to their intuition. It's to disempower you. It's to disempower. It's to keep you from realizing who and what you are. Okay. So, because it's incredible. You guys know that I've been enlightened. I was enlightened years ago, and I was in it for 6 months with no drugs or anything. It was just a very natural realizing and unfolding of what I really was. And in that, I mean, I could basically just think, it'd be nice to have a car, and somebody would pull up in a car and be like, hey, you can have it. I mean, miracles would happen all the time, every day. And it was a normal thing. It wasn't like an extraordinary event like it is for normal human beings. And there was no labor. Money just poured in when I needed it, or anything that I needed would come very easily and effortlessly and miraculously. And that's the way we're designed. That's who we truly are, you guys. That's what we're capable of. It's amazing the power we have, but none of us know it. And one of the reasons is because these media outlets have been talking in the past tense and in the future tense continuously, as if that's a normal thing, as if that's, talking about the past or the future is a normal thing. So now we have to take our power back, not listen to any of those sources anymore, or any of the garbage they're trying to put in our heads, And we need to realize that the true essence of who we are is here in this moment, and get anchored in that and hold God's hand in that. And just be like, God, you show me every step of the way by instinct what to do next. And you will be provided for. You guys will have everything and anything that you need at your disposal, at, with a snap of a finger. So, but you have to break up with this old earth for the new earth to be revealed to you and given to you. And that can come through the kingdom of God within us, which is the enlightenment that happens. And it's in here. Okay, so you want me to talk about that? Okay, so they want you to keep your attention, you use your manifestation abilities and be daydreaming about how incredible it will be to actually truly be free, to maybe have a free home, to maybe have a car that doesn't need gasoline and things like that, to have actual clean air, to actually have organic vegetables only. That's all we have. We don't even have any of the processed stuff anymore. Just imagine, and this is part of the awakening too, you have to see the bad stuff that was going on and that it was bad. Because maybe you don't even know that processed food is bad for you. Maybe you don't see the problem eating fast food and eating human meat in it. Maybe you don't, because you don't even know. You're just like, oh, it's just a nice way to get home and grab a meal. And they make those great commercials, make it look fantastic that you can stop off and get a quick burger, not even realizing what you're eating or what you're doing. So that's where you have to know, is so that you can see the potential of what could be instead. So does that make sense? It's like you guys have been believing, and I was too, in this whole illusory world of freedom, and that it's actually happy, and it's the golden dream and the American dream and all this stuff. It was a bunch of fluff and nonsense, because it wasn't even true. All the while they were getting away with all this stuff, and they were trying to keep us disempowered so that we didn't know all this, so that we wouldn't create this new earth. So now when we learn all this information, we can start, manifesting the exact opposite. And you can do that by affirming, like, thank you, God, so much that I'm a free and sovereign human being. Thank you, God, so much that that I'm so healthy, and that it's normal and natural to be healthy, and maybe even not to age. We don't even have to age, you guys. There are other human beings like us in other places, you can say. They're exactly like us. I mean, exactly like us. But because they weren't tainted with and they weren't fooled with by the Luciferians and Satanists back when, and this whole thing I was talking about didn't happen for them, they're like living the dream life. They live hundreds of years. They don't even know, like, sickness, needing dental care, having to go to the doctor. They don't even have doctors or any of that. They don't have prescriptions. They don't need any of that. That's how bad what they've done to us is. It's all become normal. Okay, so we don't actually have to be like any of that is. But like I said, you kind of need this in contrast to create this, because then you can just milk that energy and just be like, oh my gosh, you can, if you want to be in this fantasy world, just be like, I'm so grateful to be free. I'm so grateful that I can own my house. I'm so grateful that I can have, all these, whatever it is that you really love about your life, just milk that grateful energy. That's all. Because that energy will attract like energy. But it just helps to know the opposite of what to create over here if you're stuck in this illusion. Or even like what I just said, I'm so grateful that I own my home. And, maybe in the new earth, you don't even own anything. You don't even need to. You don't even have to have money. You just barter everything, and it's really easy. It's not even, you don't even need money anymore. So saying I'm so grateful to own a home wouldn't even pertain. So I would stick more to the feelings. I feel so secure and safe and happy and joyful every day when I wake up, and that type of thing. I would just be milking that energy. Okay, so the other thing I was going to address is I would love for some of you to join me, if not all of you, to join me in supporting the mothers and the fathers, I suppose. But it's a motherly energy, even if it is a father. It's a loving, nurturing energy of those that are going to be finding out about these horrific things that happened to their children, or happened to their children that became missing. A lot of them are going to be suicidal. a lot of them are not going to deal well with this situation at all. Even people who maybe had a hint or a clue that something may have been going on awry and didn't do anything about it will feel incredibly guilty. So I want you guys, if it's one of you, if any of you are the ones that are actually going to go through this or going to find this out, and you had a missing child, or you know someone with a missing child or something like that, love yourself. Okay, do not guilt yourself. Do not stay in that guilt. And now this is leading to the next subject I was going to talk about, but take care of yourself, love yourself. If you know somebody who has had a missing child, be prepared to really support them and help them through this, because I can't imagine, I can't even possibly, like, if I think about it, I just start crying, because it's like, how, sweet children you see on the backs of these milk cartons. And they've known, even those people who put those pictures on the back of the milk cartons, they were all part of covering it all up. They were not trying to help find those children. So, you guys, so what I'm going to start doing is I bought a mala necklace, and they have 108 beads on them. I'm going to start saying a mantra 108 times every single day for mothers. And I'm going to be lighting a candle to help aid the collective in healing this. So I'm going to just have the intention of you can look up any kind of like divine mother protection or divine mother healing mantra. You could just light a candle with the intention and pray for all the mothers every night. I'm going to do a light language blessing for it. And so I'm going to set my lipstick right here to help me remember to do the light language blessing. But do something and try to keep these beautiful mothers in mind every single day, like at the same time every day, and just be praying for them, and be putting this energy into the new earth that we want to create, just pouring your heart and soul into being so grateful for everything that you love and enjoy about your life. And just pray as if it's already happened. Thank you so much for soothing the hearts of these mothers. Thank you so much for healing the children. Thank you so much for releasing. Some of the children can be rehabbed, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare because once they've been underground for that long, their lungs collapse. Sometimes when they come out of the ground, they can't handle the oxygen out here. So, okay, so the other thing, it's Yeshua, Jesus, is the one who I don't know why he's specifically saying that he's the one about to say this next part, but he made a point of that, saying that everyone needs to figure out their weakest link. All of you need to take a look at your lives and see what is the worst thing you've ever done. What is the thing that makes you feel like you are undeserving of living your optimal, happiest life? And it may be a number of things. And I want you to spend some time, some night, light a candle, take a notepad, and think, and go do an exercise. Thank you, God, for my misery, and do it on as many things as you can for like 30 to 45 minutes. I know I mentioned it before, but if you have not done it and experienced it, you've got to do it now. This is the time, okay? So what you do is you take the pad of paper, and at the top you say, what would be an example in this case? Okay, thank you, God, that, I did this bad thing to this child, growing up. I was a bully. Say you were a bully or something. Thank you, God, that I was a bully when I was a kid. Or thank you, God, that I killed something. I mean, for some of you, it's some of the stuff is really, really tough to deal with. Thank you, God, that I was responsible for somebody dying. Thank you, God, that I was responsible for someone's suffering. Whatever it is, write that on the top of, thank you, God, for the worst thing. And put it really, really bad. Because the truth is that life is like that. We get angry, we get pissed off. We feel like when we're really in it and we're really feeling like we're just a pile of poo, so angry at ourselves, then we'll say it in the worst possible way. So use that to just in contrast and to really kind of make a poignant point of the fact that there is the ego, and then there's love, and just to be real. Don't be all politically correct about it. You guys, this is time to just be real about it. Write it at the top of the page. Thank you, God, that I caused that person to die or suffer, or that I was so mean to blah, 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 or maybe that I abused an animal, a helpless animal, or, put it in bad terms. But thank you, God, for blank. And the blank is a bad thing that's happened that you feel really, really bad about yourself. And then I want you to list all the advantages or benefits that you can, like at least 10 to 15 advantages or benefits as to why that was a really good thing that happened. It's going to help you radically accept why that had to happen, because your higher self had the knowledge prior to that happening that you were going to do that, and it wanted you to experience it for a reason. And the reason isn't to beat yourself up. The reason isn't to keep you from your love. The reason isn't to be disempowered and have low self-esteem for the rest of your life. That's not the reason that you went through that, okay? So it's time to get over it and really look at it for what it is and figure out, why did you go through that? Why did you put yourself through that? Why did God want you to go through that? To evolve as a human being, to grow as a human being. This is the exercise that will help you uncover that. If you do Byron Katie's work, you could do that with it as well. But for those of you who just, want a plain and simple exercise that you can do for like 30 to 45 minutes to really make huge headway, this is how you face your demons. Because Jesus was saying that you have to find out your weakest link and make it strong at this time. You got to see the good in the bad that you've done. And you got to let yourself off the hook. You've got to see that no matter how horrific or bad the things that you've done are, it doesn't even matter, because the ultimate lie is that there is such a thing as the past. There isn't. There is only this moment, ever. That's like the biggest lie we're ever told. There is no future and there is no past, because the only thing that's actually real is me talking right now through your computer or your phone or however you're listening to me. That is the only real thing happening. And whatever you can hear or see or witness in your own environment, the here and now, everything else, if you try to think of the past, I just said it, think of the past. You have to actually conjure up or imagine it, right? And if you think of the future, what's going to happen in the future, it's all in your imagination. It's all made up. So all of the past, completely made up, and you're probably not even remembering it correctly. And if you ask all your friends and relatives and anybody else that was involved, they would remember it all differently, So it's totally illusory. It doesn't even matter anything that happened in the past, not even 2 minutes ago, guys. Only what happens right now in this present moment is important. So reinforce and make strong that the weakest parts of you that you feel are undeserving of love, or that you feel, so shameful about or so guilty about. It's time to heal. It's time to heal your wounds, and it's time to get past these things, and it's time to stake your claim on the bright future ahead. Future. We could disappear like right now and go onto another planet, or go into some other, you could go into the kingdom of God, and that's not like being human at all. But I might explain that in another video. I'm sure I will. Anyway, anything else you guys want to say? I just saw the number 101. So let me see what that is. I know this has been a long video. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. This number signifies fundamental spiritual teachings. As you let go and let God, your thoughts automatically become more positive, and this elevated vibration attracts all good things into your life. So let go and let God. Let go and let God help create this new earth. Stay in the moment, stay grateful. If you don't feel like you can handle something or know the solutions, just know that it'll naturally work out. We all need to become more natural, really. It's just, we all need to become more like our true selves really are. And don't judge others, don't even I mean, and maybe you've always felt like, oh, it's so terrible that Black people have been treated like lesser and all that stuff. That, just drop the whole thing. Let's just drop all of it. Or it's so bad that the Christians and the Muslims are any of that stuff, or anybody that you're against. Anybody, if you feel like it's wrong to be gay, if you feel like it's wrong to be a different religion than the one that you are, or if you feel whatever it is that you are judging right now in terms of being different than you, or more stupid than you, or not enlightened enough, or whatever people that you would pick on right now and say that they're lesser than you, or that they're just not quite like you, or they just don't get it, or they are, you wouldn't want to spend time with that person. You wouldn't want to hear what they had to say, whatever it is. Do your best to either see that you've been in that position yourself. Just have compassion or empathy for those people. But don't overdo it. Don't go overboard and feel sorry for all these different people. And because you're going to cause a wonky imbalance. Then you're going all the way over this way. Just stay balanced. See that things are the way they are. See them for what they are. Have compassion, empathy, and just stay present in the moment. That's the best thing you can do, is offer up your presence, your beingness. That in itself is going to be incredibly healing for everybody. We all need to drop all prejudice, and just be accepting and loving and compassionate of everyone across the board, no matter what age, no matter what you think, none of it. Just drop all of it. Drop all of it. And you can even do the thank you God for my misery. And I do have another video here on YouTube. If you really want to listen to a half an hour talk on it, look it up. Just put in my name, Amy Satori, and the word misery, and it'll come up, thank you God for my misery. And then you can listen to that if you feel like you didn't quite get it from what I just said. Or I'm happy to help you guys out on WhatsApp or Telegram for free. As long as you guys are working on yourselves and you guys are wanting to evolve, I will help you figure. I'm not going to get all chatty with you. Don't think I'm going to sit there. I mean, some of you try to take advantage and really want to talk about your situations. We can do that in a session. Think we got to be balanced here. But if you're like, Amy, I don't know how to do this turnaround, or I don't understand how to do this exercise, I must not be doing it right. If you're not having epiphanies and realizations and feel lighter afterwards, you're doing it wrong. And I can't tell you how many of you, when I've delved into it and I'm just like, well, have you been doing the thank you God for my misery? Well, yeah. And I'll be like, can you send me a picture or something? And I look at it, I'm just like, well, how did you even come up with this? It's so twisted from what I said. So please, reach out to me if you haven't done the exercise, or you feel confused about it, or you don't know how to do it, or you feel like you might be doing it wrong, or you need a statement to do, like a fearful thought to do with Byron Katie's work, and you can't quite figure it out. Reach out to me. I will help you guys for free. If it's just a quick spotting, if it's just helping you figure out how to get through a stuck part, because I want everybody watching right now to evolve. I want all of you to heal and grow and evolve more than anything in the whole world, you guys, more than anything. So that's how passionate I am, that I will help you guys through any kind of stuck situation. Just get on Telegram. Telegram is more private, but you can get on Telegram or WhatsApp, and I'd be happy to help you through those things, okay? And just remember going forward too, if anybody's saying, I think, somebody said something that because somebody's thinking this or that, or they're the supporter of this other person and all this, and I'm just like, how are they grouping that all together? That's so ridiculous. Just because somebody wants to know the truth like me doesn't mean that I support anybody. Doesn't mean that I am any kind of against or for anybody or anything. It's don't make assumptions, you guys. That's being mind controlled by these people who are trying to create this division between people. Don't fall for it. You know, wake up, wake up and see things for what they really are. And realize a lot of you have been fed a whole line of baloney for a long time and you're just believing it, you know? So when somebody said something about digging deeper into deeper truths and by from the things that they described that they'd seen and stuff, I was like, you're not digging deeper, girl. You're not digging deeper because you're not looking at the other stuff, the darker stuff. You're believing the illusion they're feeding you on these channels, the media, the newspapers, all of that stuff that's real public information out there. You know, all the good stuff's getting censored. All the good stuff is being taken down and being gotten rid of, okay? That's why I have all these alternate channels all of a sudden that I list at the end of all these videos. Because they're trying to keep the truth from you because people are starting to wake up to what's going on. And it's scaring them. So, because if people knew what was really going on, all these people would be hung by their toes. You know, we would have, everybody just would be rallying, you know, it'd be, yeah. But, and, you know, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these people who actually know the truth are being very kind and compassionate and loving to be patiently waiting for justice to happen. Any kind of dramas that I've ever seen, I have yet to see something actually real happen. It's all been paid actors and actresses and things like that. It's very rare that any of it actually is anything that's really going on. So, I mean, there's probably 95 to 98% of what you guys are hearing and seeing on these public ways of getting information, it's false, and you guys are believing it, and it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. If you really want to look into those deeper truths that I'm talking about, you go to BitChute and you get willing to look at the ugly stuff because you caused it by putting a blind eye to it. Now it's time to wake up and look at what you did and forgive yourself. You know, you need to take responsibility and take the consequences for what you've done. And all of us did it. But it's time to stop pointing fingers at people and having all this division and having all of, you know, letting them get away with all of this, turning us all on each other. It needs to stop. You guys need to be the peacemakers. And it starts with healing yourself and loving yourself. Even if you just put your hand on your heart and just say, I love you to yourself over and over and over, that can be the most incredibly effective healing technique you can have. Turn off your TVs, go to BitChute, you know, don't read the newspaper unless it's like Epoch Times or something. Okay. The blessing for the mothers. Here we go. Can somebody please timestamp this and put it down below in the comments? Thank you. Okay. Hamaina tesa haincha seela haamomama ena keshinse hala haina popopoma ai hala sanse shikinse papama kikins haela haina te insasone hamama hapompopona haina teela eshinkinse heela hanate Hopomamahin, halashin sisiki tent popomamaina. Okay, so this is a time to really be meditating and doing your qigong and doing all that you can. Do something peaceful and loving and pray a protective prayer before bed because some people are being attacked in their dreams. They're being psychically attacked in other areas. If you're feeling lethargic and depressed and things like that, that could be a psychic attack as well. You can always come to me for help with that, for help with any of it, really. So, and my website is amysatori.com. And just click on the services tab and you can see all the different things that I can do for you. Anything else, you guys? Yeah, they just reminded me, let go, let God. He's got this, he's handling this. And what about the battle with Lucifer? Is there anything we need to know going forward? Do not hate. They said, do not hate, do not divide. Do not segregate. Do not, we're going to be taking those masks off. Damn straight, we're taking those masks off because that's ridiculous. And it's a Satanist, what do you call it? Routine. That's total Satanism. You guys are acting like Satanists on purpose. Like you're doing it thinking that it's for a different reason, and it's not. And we're also going to stop the 6 feet apart thing, which is also a Satanistic ritual thing. So you guys have been bamboozled big time. You guys have been duped and bamboozled and brainwashed completely by the leaders of our world, which are now being taken down. The corrupt leaders are being taken down. So just be careful going forward about making any kind of judgments on anyone. And know that money is not your God. Money is not what will make you safe and secure. So don't give your power away to, a new this that offers you all this money and whatnot. If you have to sign anything that says Saint Germain on it or anything, just know that you can do without. Try to get back to a simple life. Try to get back to a natural life as best you can. Be imagining that happening. We don't need money. We don't need money anymore. Let's be in a world where we're not even using money. We're just all giving to one another and taking care of one another. That's it. Because you probably will come to a time where you have a choice between money and material things being your safety and security or God. And you definitely want to choose God because God can give you everything that you need and provide everything for you. And I know this from experience, you guys. I know it from experience. You can see the conviction in my eyes. Choose God. God will give you everything you need. Everything. You will not be lacking in anything at all. Money won't do anything. Material things, they fade, they go away, they crumble, they fall. This faulty world that we're living in that makes us try and believe that form, that materialism and all of that is what makes us safe or happy. Totally illusory. So we're dropping illusions, and seeing the truth for what it is, and always be praying. Thank you, God, so much for showing me the truth in all things. Hamama enatain sesa ashe pampava ikens. Hamama enakein says. Shipin pampa ehe enate ikelekini pumama ina. So I just prayed that within your own free will, if you're willing, then you will be shown things. You will be shown the truth, things that you can accept, things that you'll be okay with seeing. Sometimes you need to dip your toe in the water and only know certain things for a little bit until you can kind of acclimate. They just said gold is in many forms. So gold isn't just gold. It's in a smile. It's in a hug. It's in making love to someone. It's in all these precious moments. Those are the things that matter. And that's where we're coming into with this new earth. So I think I'm going to call this video, do you want the old earth or the new earth? Because that's the decision you're ultimately making at this time. All right. I love you guys. Sending you a big, big hug. I'm here for you if you need me. And all right. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and share them with your friends. Also, feel free to join me at patreon.com/Amy Satori, where I post monthly energy readings, pick a decks, and other goodies for members only, including discounts for readings and being entered to win a free reading at the end of the year. Memberships start as low as $5.55 a month. Sometimes I even put my free collective love readings on Patreon first before uploading them here to YouTube. You can check the description of my videos for the most up-to-date information.